I'm gonna get started on my forensic speech. My forensic speech is on gambling and the positive effects of the gambling industry. I know that with a lot of you guys, well, let me ask you guys a question. How many of you guys ever gambled in your life? I don't know if you're old enough to be. All right, cool. I'm glad there's at least some of you guys that have experienced that in your life. So you guys understand the thrill and stuff that comes from it, and how popular it has gotten over the years. A lot of times though, when it comes to gambling, I believe that it comes with a lot of negative connotation from the general public. And most of it is because of the money that's thrown away. People talk about, oh, like so and so gambled their life away and now they are bankrupt, or even on, I guess, legal point of view, like with stock markets, you hear people taking such gambles and completely losing their houses or real estate. What most people are not aware are the positive benefits that come from gambling and the gambling industry, so I'm here to kind of shine a light on that. And so the various topics that we'll be going over is the introduction, which we're going through now, the tax and the education benefits, or the public education that benefits from such taxes and donations, jobs that were created by the industry, as well as indigenous tribes that were also affected and benefit from the industry. Cool. So again, what most people are not aware are the positive impact that the gambling industry has on the general public. As a matter of fact, I feel like the positive benefits far outweigh the negative impacts, enough to the point where I believe it's not just an essential, but a positive influence overall. It gives not just financial and economical boosts to various industries and projects, but jobs are also created, as mentioned earlier. Still, a lot of people have the stigma that the gambling industry does more harm than good. To get started, I mean, most people don't like gambling because of odds. Even when it comes to like 50-50, a lot of people don't even like to flip a coin so that, to gamble away like $10, $15, $20 or however much amount of their personal money is. And a lot of times it's because, especially when it comes to money, you think about the hours that you worked or the times that you may have struggled. Maybe, you were short a few dollars, at the gas station, and then, you naturally think, damn, I should not have upgraded to a large at McDonald's earlier. And when it comes to gambling, it's like you don't even benefit if you completely lose. So a lot of people are kind of hesitant when it comes to gambling. So people fail to understand actually the taxes and donations that comes from the implications of gambling. And so even though, so for instance with Powerball, recently we've had a record Powerball win of $2.04 billion. Out of those $2.04 billion, $1.411 billion were actually generated in tax. So that's actually 69.1% of the winnings generated in tax, which is huge when it comes to the trillions of dollars of national debt that we have. And most of it actually goes towards educational funding. And if we look here, there's a quote, according to a quote from an article, according to a report at the Fay Observer, Cumberland County alone has seen more than $79.4 million in revenue from the state lottery since it began 6 years ago. The North Carolina Education Lottery boasts they have pumped $2.2 billion into the education, which helped soften the blow of the latest economic recession. And so if you consider the recent budget cuts that we've had, continuous budget cuts in education over the course of the years, as well as the rise in inflation, having such economic boosts is definitely a benefit. So yes, it is true that, even though we may not be sure how different schools utilize these funds, but at least these schools are able to get these funds in the first place to dictate however their needs are. Cool. And then casinos. So outside of lottery, there's casinos. And when we think of, or at least when I think of casinos, oftentimes I think about all these people that own the casinos and how much of an extravagant lifestyle that they must live. And casinos don't just benefit the owners, but it actually benefits the local surroundings and people that both employ as well as live in the premises. And so jobs data shows that for both locals, Indian tribes, as well as casinos, boost economy through jobs, and not to mention improvement in infrastructure. So local businesses and supplementary businesses like taxis, entertainment, food, dining, all of that rises, as well as tourism, which just funnels and imports a lot of money into the area. So here we can see that the benefits, jobs creations through casinos and supplementary industries. And then according to the article, Nevada Industry of and Competitive Analysis, published by the Nevada Secretary of State, the two major metro areas in Las Vegas and Reno account for 94% of the state's jobs, which goes to show the impact of the concentration of casinos in those areas have with job creations. So some can argue that the presence of casinos, may lead to additional addiction and additional spending from people, but at the same time, there's sufficient policies and regulations such as age limits that allow people to make more, that make more responsible decisions or that have better decision making quality to be able to gamble at these premises. Cool. And as far as the Native Americans, as recently as 2019, nearly half of this tribe surveyed by the CDC owned casinos. And so owning a casino was significantly associated with more resources overall, and in particular, resources related to community and recreational infrastructure. Stuff such as community centers, running paths, trails, gyms. The finding was consistent with a relative qualitative study, which found that tribal members perceived that per capita payments and improved cash flow stemming from casino profits contribute to improved community. And that's from an article by Otto in 2019. So from educational to recreational resources, it's clear that these casinos have brought general improvement in life to these day-to-day of these Native Americans. Cool. So in conclusion, there are many benefits that come with the gambling industry. So I hope that I was able to help change the perspective regarding that people have of gambling. So stuff such as taxes and public funding, job creation, indigenous tribes, as well as many other projects that are available that we can look into as well. But yeah, that's my speech on gambling industry. Cool.